Shalom, everybody. What's going on? So I have another good read. Um, this is about Yusuf. All right, it says Joseph here in the English wrongly, but Yusuf. His brothers were angry with him. They were jealous of him or envious of him or whatever the case. That their father loved him more. He was young and stuff like that. Um, but they were jealous of him about a thing, you know. And I guess they got fed up of him and they wanted to kill him. Instead of kill him, they sold him. So I want to in the midst of the story, there are some things that happen that I want to bring out, or a specific thing that happened that I want to bring out, but there's other gems in here, and we'll just let it flow. But once I get to my point, I'm gonna let it stop there, um, so you can understand comparisons of things in life or whatever the case. All right, so let's continue on. That's the introduction. All right, verse 1 of chapter 42. What is this? I think that's the book of Jasher. The book of Jasher, chapter 42. And it says this: And they went and sat on the opposite side, about the distance of a bow shot, and they sat there to eat bread, and while they were eating, they held counsel together, what was to be done with him, whether to slay him or to bring him back to his father. Now these are their brothers. They threw him in a hole in a pit, or whatever. They threw him in a pit, and they were deciding what they're gonna do with him while eating and chilling. Decide what they're gonna do with him or whatever. Even deciding if they're gonna feed him and shit like that. So that they're being disrespectful or whatever. That's their brother. He's young. All right, verse 2. They were holding a council when they lifted up their eyes and saw, and behold, there was a company of Ishmaelites coming at a distance by the road of Gilead, going down to Mitzrayim or Egypt. And Yehudah, which is the fourth son of Yaquab and Leah, as Jacob and Leah, as you say, wrongfully Jacob. But Yaquab and Leah, their fourth son is Yehudah, which are only the Jews, as you call them, wrongfully come out of Yehudah. It's Yehudah, Yehudim, which means wrong. I'm trying to say is sorry, wrong terms and stuff. But when you say Jew or Jews, only the tribe of Yehudah are considered the Jews, but it's a wrong term. It's called Yehudim. But this is the fourth son. So Yehudah is the beginning of the Jews or whatever, wrongly called Yehudim. And Yehudah said to them, what gain will it be to us if we slay our brother? Sorry. What gain will it be to us if we slay our brother? Peradventure, Yah will require him upon us. Peradventure, God Elohim will require him from us. My eyes. This then is the counsel proposed concerning him, which you shall do to him. Behold, this company of Ishmaelites going down to Mitzrayim. So they saw a company of Ishmaelites going down to Mitzrayim, and they were going to go talk. And instead of kill him, they were going to sell him. Wasn't even going to bring him back home. Now, therefore, come, let us dispose of him to them, and let now our hand be upon him, and they will lead him along with them, and he will be lost amongst the people of the land, and we will not put him to death with our own hands. And the proposal pleased his brethren, and they did according to the word of Yehudah. Something else to think about too. Like, this is their brother. They're not thinking about what their father and their mothers are gonna think, or their father's gonna think. Like, he might require that from them, or he's a prophet. He might figure this out. The Most High might reveal it to him or something like that. They're not thinking like that. They're just in the heat of the moment, angry. They were not they were not dreamers of dreams like Yusuf was. So they were not thinking that something might happen prophetically. He might know, their father might know. Verse 5. And while they were discoursing about this matter, and before the company of Ishmaelites had come up to them, 7 trading men of Midian passed by them. And as they passed, they were thirsty. And they lifted up their eyes and saw the pit in which Yusuf was buried within. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna look that up in a. But Joseph was immersed, and they looked, and behold, every species of bird was upon him. So Joseph is in there, covered up with snakes and all kind of stuff, like snakes in there and all kind of stuff. But the Most High or Shekinah glory made sure they didn't touch him and stuff like that. So he's in the pit, snakes all around him, but they were not harming him. So whenever the Shekinah is within someone or with someone, um, nothing harms the person. Not a bug, not an insect, nothing harms the person. They just there. All right. So he was in there, surrounded and stuff like that with all kind of stuff. Verse 6, and these Midianites ran to the pit to drink water, for they thought that it contained water. And on coming before the pit, they heard the voice of Yusuf crying and weeping in the pit. And they looked down into the pit, and they saw, and behold, there was a youth of comely appearance and well favored. So like, what the fuck? Somebody in, excuse me, give me a minute. They're like, somebody in here. Let me sit up. And they called to him and said, who are you? And they called to him and said, who are you? And who brought you there? Or brought you here? And who placed you in this pit in the wilderness? And they all assisted to raise up Yusuf, and they drew him out and brought him up from the pit and took him and went away on their journey and passed by his brethren. So continuing on, and these said to them, why do you do this? To take our servant from us and to go away. Surely we placed this youth in the pit because he rebelled against us, and you come and bring him up and lead him away. Now then give us back our servant. And the Midianites answered and said to the sons of Yaquab, is this your servant? Or does this man attend you? Peradventure you are all his servants. By chance you are all his servants. For he is more comely, more beautiful, and well favored than any of you. And why do you all speak falsely to us? So they knew, like, they looked like Africans and shit. You know, they looking different than him. Like, he just looked more beautiful, more attractive, they look like he's more youthful and vibrant and stuff. He act different. Like, his character is more better than y'all's and all that stuff. Like, he's more comely than y'all. We can just tell, like, he's smart and all that. But y'all, like, talking about this, that, and the third. So they was, like, not believing him or whatever. Like there's some bunch of random African men asking for this beautiful man to look like some, he's part of, like, he's a royalty or something. So they just wanted to take him anyway. So it's a battle over this man. So now they're about to take this young boy. Instead of return him home, they're about to take him or steal him or whatever the case. Now therefore we will not listen to your words nor attend to you, for we found the youth in the pit in the wilderness, and we took him. We will therefore go on. And all the sons of Yaquab approached them and rose up to them and said to them, give us back our servant, and why will you all die by the edge of the sword? And the Midianites cried out against them, and they drew their swords and approached to fight with the sons of Yaquab. And behold, Simeon rose up from his seat against them, and sprang up upon the ground, and threw his sword, and approached the Midianites. And he gave a terrible shout before them, so that his shouting was heard at a distance, and the earth shook at Simeon's shouting. Okay? And the Midianites were terrified on account of Simeon and the noise of his shouting, and they fell upon their faces and were excessively alarmed. And Simeon said to them, verily, I am Simon. And Simeon said to them, truly, I am Simeon, son of Yaquab the Hebrew, who have only with my brother destroyed the city of Shechem and the cities of the Amorites. So shall Elohim moreover do to me, that if all your brethren, the people of Midian, and also the king of Canaan, were to come with you, they could not fight against me. So they just boasting and stuff, talking about, yeah, we gonna have to scrap, and if we scrap, y'all can't fuck me for real. But what are they fighting about? What are they fighting about? We get to it. Let's get through this. Now therefore give us back the youth, whom you have taken, lest I give your flesh to the birds of the skies and the beasts of the earth. Sound like they really love their brother, right? And the Midianites were more afraid of Simeon, and they approached the sons of Yaquab with terror and fright, and with pathetic words, saying, surely you have said that the young man is your servant, and that he rebelled against you, and therefore you placed him in the pit. That what then will you do with a servant who rebels against his master? Now therefore sell him to us, and we will give you all that you require for him. And the Lord was pleased to do this in order that the sons of Jacob should not slay their brothers. So the Most High was happy about this. He's not happy about the situation altogether because he's not here to control people's decisions or choices they want to make. You're free to make the choices you want to make, but he's not pleased with everyone's choices. So within the situation that's happening with Yusuf, as you call Yosef, what's happening with Yusuf, he's pleased to let Yusuf go with the men instead of go with his brothers. Why? You know what I'm saying? Because he knew that they were gonna kill him or something like that. They too fucking aggressive and shit. They so about to kill our asses to take him back just to kill him and shit. Like these people are different and shit. Like these some different ass motherfuckers and shit. So just because you see a Hebrew brother know the Bible, know the Torah, they are more or whatever, depending. I'm just saying, just because you see somebody that know the scriptures and stuff, or know the Bible, and we brothers and stuff, doesn't mean they mean well, by a good man or another brother. So we see that a lot, online stuff like that today, like Facebook and online stuff, a bunch of different debates brothers go through. We're all brothers reading the scriptures and talking about the scriptures, but it don't mean we mean well to each other, even though we all know the Torah. All of these Hebrew brothers knew the Torah from their father, Yaquab. They knew the right and wrong ways of things. Okay, so there was no excuse for them to feel how they were feeling or not to humble themselves down and give their mind to the Most High and be like, let's not do this thing because the Most High. So they were in the heat of the moment feeling what they were feeling out of their envy or whatever the case. It was envy. Or you could say jealousy, but whatever the case. They were just feeling some kind of way about their brother. They wanted to get rid of him because their father was loving him more than them, but they weren't understanding why at first. Like later on they understood, because you didn't understand that they didn't understand that their father wanted to be with Rachel. He didn't want to be with Leah. He just wanted one woman. He ended up with 4 women, but he only wanted one. The one woman that he wanted and worked 7 years for was Rachel. He worked hard for 7 years for this one woman. He didn't even get her. He got another woman, then worked another 7 years. He ended up working 14 years for a man just to get the one woman he wanted, while being with a woman that he didn't want. And then once he got the woman he wanted, she didn't have children. The other woman had children, So she's like going and going. Finally, he has a child by the woman he wanted to be with. He finally have a child by her. And so he loved that child more than the others because this is the woman I wanted to marry. And this is the child I wanted to have by her. I didn't even want Leah. I didn't even want Zilpah. I didn't even want Bilhah. They're giving them to me and shit like that. Just like convincing me to be with these people and stuff, and then you just give in. So same thing with me, people keep pressing you and pressing you, you just give in. But with Leah, they snuck her in there. They made him think that it was Rachel, but it wasn't, it was Leah. So they tricked him and shit. So you see how people can be deceptive. So he's already fucked up the whole time about even having children by Leah and stuff like that. So they felt some kind of way and stuff like that he loved Yusuf more than the others and stuff. And that's understandable. If you was him in his position, you would feel the same way. So let's continue on. So they were jealous. So the Most High was pleased that the Midianites would take him and not give him back to the sons of Jacob, so they should not slay their brother. And the Midianites saw that Yusuf was of a comely appearance, a beautiful appearance, and well favored. They desired him in their hearts, and were urgent to purchase him from his brethren. And the sons of Jacob hearkened to the Midianites, and they sold their brother Yusuf to them for 20 pieces of silver. And Reuben their brother was not with them. And the Midianites took Yusuf and continued their journey to Gilead. They were going along the road, and the Midianites repented of what they had done in having purchased the young man. And one said to the other, "What is this thing that we have done, and taken this youth from the Hebrews, who is of comely appearance and well favored?" They keep saying comely appearance, but they're saying he's of good character. He does not look like a slave. When you come around him, he's well spoken. He speak right. His character is right towards people. He's very respectful, and he's just look beautiful. Like he just look like a person that's not dirty or a piece of shit. He's well organized. He has order about himself. He can't be a slave. They just saying he's very well put together. The way he's speaking, all that is very well put together, so he can't be a slave. So they just not believing it, but they bought him anyway. Felt like they was lying because their characters was out of check. Y'all acting funny, man. He not acting funny. So it seems like he's the one that's not the slave, but it seems like y'all the ones that's actually it's just crazy. Continuing on, said 21. Perhaps this youth is stolen from the land of the Hebrews. And why then have we done this thing? And if he should be sought for and found in our hands, we shall die through him. Now, another little gem to give you. Hebrews in America are slaves. We're Hebrews. We're not black. Okay? That's just a misnomer. They just calling us black, African, or whatever. No, we are Hebrews that live within the land of Canaan. We had our own land. So it was parts of Africa that were considered Hebrew land or Hebrew territory. So it wasn't all the land of Cush. All right? But we were not given our promised land yet. So we were just in territories. Then we were given our land, which is considered Israel. Okay? And that's where the Hebrews live, in Israel. So all brown people are not Africans. You have Africans are from the sons of Ham. Africans are from the sons of Ham or Ham. And then Hebrews are from the sons of Shem. And then you have Yafet, where pale-faced people come from. So you had three sons. The two brought forth brown-faced men. But the two races of brown-faced men are not the same race. All right? So you have Africans, you have Hebrews. Everybody's not a Hebrew Israelite either. Sorry. Everybody's not a Hebrew Israelite either. All right? So you just had regular old Hebrews that are Ishmaelites and stuff like that. As the Ishmaelites and the Midianites passing by, they were all Hebrews, but they were not Hebrew Israelites. So the Hebrews were their own nation of people, or whatever the case, but they were different sects and different groups of them, that Abraham, so it wasn't a strange thing, so it's not a thing to be looking at us like we are supposed to be slaves to people and shit like that, or in your land being a slave to you and shit like that. We're Hebrews. We need to go back to our land, our home, where the Hebrews live. So in this territory that they're in, the Hebrews live there. There's just one crew of Hebrews, the Midianites, the Ishmaelites, communicating with another crew of Hebrews, which are Hebrew Israelites. So you have the Ishmaelites and you have the Israelites. So they're communicating with each other about, stuff like that. So continuing on. 22. Now surely, hardy and powerful men have sold him to us. The strength of one of whom you saw this day, perhaps they stole him from his land with their might and with their powerful arm, and have therefore sold him to us for the small value which we gave to them. And while they were thus discoursing together, they looked, and behold, the company of Ishmaelites, which was coming at first, and which the sons of Jacob saw was advancing towards the Midianites. And the Midianites said to each other, "Come, let us sell this youth to the company of Ishmaelites who are coming toward us, and we will take for him the little that we gave for him, and we will be delivered from this evil." So now here it is. So that's where it came in. So it was a big, huge situation. So the Ishmaelites was in the vicinity, and the Midianites was in the vicinity. So they were talking to the Ishmaelites to try to sell him. But in the midst of that, the Midianites got him in the pit, and they were like, fighting over him, and they sold him for the 20 pieces of silver as they walk. And the Midianites is like, well, let's give him to the Ishmaelites. The Ishmaelites are also Hebrews. Like I was saying, Ishmaelites and Israelites. All right, verse 24. And they did so, and they reached the Ishmaelites, and the Midianites said Yusuf to the Ishmaelites. And the Midianites sold Yusuf to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, which they had given for him to his brethren. And the Midianites went on their road to Gilead, and the Ishmaelites took Yusuf, and they let him ride upon one of the camels, and they were leading him to Mitzrayim or Egypt. Now imagine this probably be the moment where you actually realizing that, damn, I'm not going home and shit. Like everything is a dream, or everything is fake, or what the fuck is going on until you on this camel, and you're going and going, and then you're not going back and shit. And now you realizing you're not gonna see home again. Like, damn, this actually happening to me and shit. Being sold as a slave and shit. The fuck out of nowhere. You're not even expecting that to happen to you, but that shit happened to you out of nowhere by your own fucking brothers and shit. You're not expecting that. You chilling one day, just chilling. These your brothers, it's your family and shit. They ain't gonna do no harm to you. Y'all got the same mother, same father and shit. They ain't gonna do no harm to you. That's my brothers and shit. Fuck around, sold the shit out your ass out of nowhere, off of some jealousy and shit. Cause you was like, oh, he's a dreamer of dreams and shit. Here go the dream and shit. Always got some new dream to talk about and shit. Jealous of him and shit. Verse 26. And Yusuf heard that the Ishmaelites were proceeding to Mitzrayim, and Yusuf lamented and wept at this thing, that he was to be so far removed from the land of Canaan, from his father, and he wept bitterly while he was riding upon the camel. And one of their men observed him and made him go down from the camel and walk on foot. And notwithstanding this, Yusuf continued to cry and weep. And he said, oh, my father, my father. Now, come on now. Also, you're thinking about your father. You're crying that you wish your father could save you and shit. Your mother can save you. You're a teenager and shit. Wish your father could save you. Your mother can save you. You know what I'm saying? You're a teenager and shit. You still got school to learn. You still got to go to school and shit like that. Now you a slave and shit out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You on a camel, so you know where they living at, the area that they living in, if you riding on a camel and shit. So, verse 27. And one of the Ishmaelites rose up and smote Yusuf upon the cheek, and still he continued to weep. So now they fucking him up. Just because he a slave, that word slave, man, that word slave does something to people's minds. If you say somebody a slave, people that own slaves or know what slavery is about, they look at a person differently. Like, you could have been lying. Like, I could have been lying the whole fucking time. Like, he's not a slave, but they carried him like a slave. So because they said he was a slave, this is how they're treating him now. Oh, he's a slave, so now they want to beat him up, fuck him up, fight him and shit like that. But if you were said, this is not a slave, this is a prince of such and such, your mind changed, be like, oh, I can get some money out of this shit. Now you want to not beat him or hurt him or harm him. See the evil of people? So, and one of the Ishmaelites rose up and smote or hit Yusuf on the cheek, and still he continued to weep. It didn't make him stop crying. And Yusuf was fatigued in the road, and was unable to proceed on account of the bitterness of his soul. So, understand another thing. Sorry about that. He was unable to proceed on account of the bitterness of his soul, and they all smote him, beat him, they banked him and shit, stomping him and shit, and afflicted him on the road, and they terrified him in order that he might cease from weeping. So this is another thing that you know how men are too. Men are disrespectful as shit. They're not understanding of people. Men don't look at men to understand men. They look at men like enemies or problems. They don't look at men in the way that women look at men. If you had a woman in the midst, she might have been thinking maybe something going on with him. She would try to comfort him to get him to stop crying. But men, aggressive as shit. Also, he's a slave. In their mind, he's a slave. They just bought him and shit. They beating him and biting him, stomping him and shit, kicking him and shit, afflicting him and shit on account of the bitterness of his soul. His soul is in bitterness. He's in his pain. He's like, he can't do shit. He can't move. Okay? He continued to weep, and Yusuf was fatigued in the road. He's tired. He's fatigued. He can't lift his fucking body up no more, and was unable to proceed on account of the bitterness of his soul, not because he was wounded or some shit, stabbed up. Men don't like to fucking understand that shit. A bunch of aggressive ass, strong-headed ass men, stop fucking crying ass men and shit, don't like to understand that your soul could be so fucked up, and you don't have no mother, no father. You said shit like this just happened to you out of no fucking where. You're a teenager. You don't know enough about life and shit. And now you been sold by your fucking brothers and shit. He fucked up in the heart. He fucked his hearts up and shit. His swoggy is done, my nigga. He can't even move. He can't move his bag. The affliction. That's another thing. When you see men that are too aggressive and they don't like to understand or try to equate that maybe it could be something about his soul that's causing him to be down and out, we need to heal his soul. Get the fuck away from these niggas. Get the fuck away from these niggas, yo. These men that don't think that you could be so fucked up in your heart and in your soul that it could cause you to die or cause you to fail or cause you to be weak and not be able to do shit. Get the fuck away from them, because they won't give you proper advice. How to tend to life, society, people. They don't even know how to lift their own people up and shit, because they're looking at each other as men thinking that just be strong and shit. They're not thinking that he healing. He needs psychiatrists or what's going on. There's a psychologist wouldn't be able to heal that because what happened to him was some shit that you don't know just happened. Like, well, what's the situation and shit? You hear a situation. Oh, that's why he fucked up. You can't heal that with a psychologist and shit. You got to give him back to his father. Some bullshit happened. I'm just saying, man, men are disrespectful. You know, hard men are disrespectful. They're not soft. They don't know the Torah. They don't know the ways of the Most High. They're like beasts, brutish and shit like that. Even men that do know the Torah, as you saw his brothers, were trying to kill him and shit. Their characters weren't right, but they knew they had a lot of hid knowledge. They were experts in the hid knowledge of the Torah, but they were not soft in their hearts to have the heart of the Most High, to know how to tend to their brother and shit. But they wanted to kill him. He didn't do anything wrong or nothing. They just wanted to kill him. Jealousy and shit. Oh, he dreamed dreams and shit. You know? So, yeah, man. So they beating his ass up because he can't move because of the affliction of his soul instead of talk to him and shit. Verse 28. And the Lord saw, the Most High Yah saw the ambition of Yusuf and his trouble, and the Most High Yah brought down upon those men darkness and confusion. And the hand of everyone that smote him became withered. So he hit him back and shit. This man innocent as shit. He innocent as shit. Ain't not one of these men thought to talk to him. He's a man. He got feelings and emotions and shit. Just because the word fucking slave is over his fucking head don't mean he got fucking feelings and emotions. That's why don't nobody want to go to no other fucking countries and shit like that, because you know that they're going to try to enslave our asses and they don't think we got feelings and emotions and shit. So they're just going to be treating us like pieces of shit. Why you got time for that shit, getting fucked up and beat up and afflicted because our souls fucked up and we can't move? You know what I'm saying? We burnt out and shit, can't move, fucked up in our souls and hearts and shit, dragged out. And they like, what the fuck is wrong with these niggas and shit? Beating our ass and shit, wanting us to move for them and shit, work for them and shit. You got time for that shit. Heartless ass people. Not thinking to sit down and talk to this man. The Most High saw that none of these men that were Ishmaelites talked to him. They just beat his ass. Those who did beat him, you know? So he fucked them up. It always comes later. Like, he let you do that shit. And like, why would God let this happen to them? Then you read the rest of the story. After they fucked them up, then he got them back and shit. So, and they said to each other, what is this thing that Elohim has done to us in the road? And they knew not that this befell them on account of Yusuf. And the men proceeded on the road, and they passed along the road of Ephrath, where Rachel was buried. So Rachel, or Rachel, is Yusuf's mother. Okay, she had died right after she had her second son, Binyamin. All right, so right after she birthed Binyamin, she died. But Yusuf was born first out of, whatever the case. So they're not that far off because this is where Rachel is buried at or whatever. But they didn't think that, another thing you need to know is they didn't think that they was getting fucked up because of Yusuf. They didn't think they was getting fucked up because they beat Yusuf. So the mind of a person when they look at a slave is that they can do whatever to a slave and nothing happened to them. Like, the reason that they get in trouble and shit is not because they beating up on this man right here. They didn't even think that. See how fucked up your head is? You thinking that you going through this shit because of something else. Y'all in America think y'all going through a lot of bullshit and a lot of fucked up shit because of whatever the fuck. You ain't thinking because the slaves. This is the Hebrews and shit. There's slaves in here. Our situation was fucked up. Like Yusuf's situation was fucked up. You not knowing. You not thinking at all. Oh, they just fucking slaves and shit. They not the reason that we getting fucked up. Slaves is nothing and shit. We got slaves too in our country. So slaves is nothing. That's what you're not thinking right. You know? So that's something to notice too. They not think that it befell them because of Joseph. They're not thinking it's because of the slave Joseph. So their heads fucked up about slaves and shit. They just completely nothing. Lifeless people or some shit. No feelings, no emotion. So Rachel, or Rachel, was buried. And he was a teenager too. So they came past Ephrath where his mother was buried. Rachel or Rachel. And he fell upon the grave and wept. So he came to his mother's grave. And Yusuf reached his mother's grave. And Yusuf reached his mother's grave. And Yusuf hastened and ran to his mother's grave and fell upon the grave and wept. All right, now he's running to his mother. You know what I'm saying? Ain't got nothing. His mother's dead. Ran to his mother's grave to try to get some comfort. You know what I'm saying? Now, understand, this is what the point I'm trying to get. This is where we get to the point now. How mothers are important. Very important. Very vital. And when you have no mother, like, what the fuck? You fucked up. Your soul is fucked up. You can't move. You can't push. They fucking you up, beating you, banking you, hitting you and shit, saying all kind of shit to you, doing shit to you because you crying and shit. They don't know why you fucked up in your soul. You can't move, can't lift your body up and shit. This nigga need to go to work type shit, but you can't move and shit. You just fucked up in your soul and shit. So you can't move your body. You see your mother's grave, you run to your mother's grave and shit. Verse 31. And Yusuf cried aloud upon his mother's grave, and he said, O my mother, O who did give me birth, awaken now and rise and see your son, how he has been sold for a slave, and no one pity him. O rise and see your son. Weep with me on account of my troubles, and see the heart of my brethren. You know your mother gonna always love you, my nigga. No matter who hates you, your mother gonna always love you. So they say, arouse my mother, arouse, awaken from your sleep for me, and direct your battles against my brethren. Oh, how have they stripped me of my coat, and sold me already twice for a slave, and separated me from my father, and there is no one to pity me. Arouse and lay my cause against them before Elohim, and see whom Elohim will justify in the judgment. See whom Elohim will justify in the judgment, and whom he will condemn. Let him judge between me and my brothers and shit. Because they love talking shit. They older than me. I'm younger than them. Whatever they say goes and shit. So let the Most High judge between me and them, that my cause be right and true and just. And I'm just not a young ass guy talking shit and ignorant and shit. They keep saying I'm wrong. They keep saying I'm just talking shit. They keep trying to down me or press me down and shit. Trying to shut me up. But let the Most High, or Elohim, judge between me and them. So he's going crazy, verse 35. Rise, O my mother, rise, awake from your sleep, and see my father, how his soul is with me this day, and comfort him, and ease his heart. And Yusuf continued to speak these words, and Yusuf cried aloud and wept bitterly upon his mother's grave. Cried aloud, and what you something you can't control your body and shit. You can't function. You crying so fucking hard. You know what I'm saying? One of those, one of those type of cries, my nigga, like a baby crying, and wept bitterly upon his mother's grave. And he ceased speaking, and from bitterness of heart, he became still as a stone upon the grave. My nigga crying to the point of death, my nigga. And niggas be like, men not supposed to cry and shit. You doing some disrespectful shit to a man that he's not guilty of. He's not guilty of nothing. You just doing shit to this nigga. Now, because you said some random ass shit, niggas looking at him the way you said or whatever you said and shit. Because y'all older and shit. He's younger. Y'all said some shit like he's my slave and all this. You didn't say nothing about he's your brother and shit. This man went from being loved by his father, no guilt in his life, loved by his father loved him so much, to his brother selling him and to be a slave, and they hate the shit out of his ass. How you go from I know my family love me to my brothers don't like me at fucking all, my nigga, like sold me twice and shit. Crying, you fucked up in the heart, like if it hits you, like you shocked. It hits you from the shock first. You're shocked that niggas don't like you. How the fuck my family don't like me and shit? What the fuck going on? I thought they always loved me and shit. They could have said something if they felt something. Never said anything. They just fucked you up randomly one day. And so you fucked up from that. You try to go back home, can't go back home. You fucked up from that. You know what I'm saying? You crying out to your mother. My situation, I don't even know my fucking mother. I'm a mistake to my mother. So it's even worse. I can't even cry for my fucking mother. So Yusuf get that like, fuck that, my nigga. I couldn't have pressed on if it wasn't for my mother. I was crying bitterly, my nigga. I was on a grave crying. Fuck that. I'd rather go to Egypt, be a slave, and let my mother come to me and comfort me and shit than to be you, my nigga. Like, you ain't got, where your mother at? I don't know my mother. You don't know your mother? Fuck that, my nigga. I do this work right here. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know what I'm saying? The Savior too. Fuck that. Everybody, Moses, fuck that. Masha, fuck that shit, man. I need my mother, my nigga. I need my mother. He understood his situation. Alligators was eating niggas. So he was like, oh shit, yeah, thank you, mom. Thank this mother when he heard the story. He ain't hate his mother. My mother ain't got no stories, no conversation, no communication. She just momming and shit. And then just like, you a mistake. Like, the fuck? It's just, your mother always love you, my nigga. So it lets you know, yo, the world has changed. The people have changed. People doing dumb shit that they regret so fucking hard that they call the children mistakes and shit, which let you know you should have, you know what I'm saying? Verse 36. And Yusuf continued to speak these words, and Yusuf cried aloud and wept bitterly upon his mother's grave, and he ceased speaking, and from bitterness of heart he became still as a stone upon the grave. Or you just gonna be the pain talking and shit. You gonna be saying some shit, cursing and shit. So he was like dead on the grave, on his mother's grave. And Yusuf heard a voice speaking to him from beneath the ground, which answered him with bitterness of heart, and with a voice of weeping, and praying in these words, saying in these words, my son, Yusuf, I have heard the voice of your weeping and the voice of your lamentation. I've seen your tears. I know your troubles, my son, and it grieves me for your sake. Abundant grief is added to my grief. Now, therefore, my son Yusuf, my son, hope to the Lord, hope to the Most High Yah, and wait for him, and do not fear, for the Most High Yah is with you. He will deliver you from all trouble. That's comforting. Rise, my son. She strengthen him. Rise, my son. Go down to Mitzrayim. Go down to Egypt. Don't fucking worry about all that bullshit. Right? Go down to Egypt. You here? I'm with you. This, that, and the third. Rise, my son. Go down to Egypt. Don't worry about nothing. Go with your masters and shit. Just go ahead and play it out, and do not fear. Trust in the Most High. For the Most High Yah is with you, my son. And she continued to speak like to these words to Yusuf, and she was still. So she continued to say more things than these, to Yusuf, to comfort him fully. And then she was still. Not until her son was comforted. Nigga, what the fuck? And then niggas be looking at niggas like niggas ain't going through shit. Or when a man say, I don't know my mother, my nigga, they be, oh shit, damn, or whatever and shit. You don't know your mother? No, I don't know my mother. Where she at? I don't know. Right there, living and eating and shit, breathing and shit. But I don't know her. I'm a mistake to her and shit. So imagine how you can't get through life. You can't get through shit without your mother, my nigga, or your wife and children. Like, you can't get through shit. You did. He was broken down. He was on bitterness of his soul. This man could not continue on. He could not push on for bitterness of his soul. He couldn't lift his physical body up. All y'all fucking like to look at is flesh and shit. Why this? Why that? Y'all so fucking spiritual, so fucking super powerful, magical and shit. But how the fuck you don't know that a man can just be so broken up? I'm just mad, yo. A man can be so broken up, so fucking broken up, and can't live on or can't push on because he don't have a mother or father or some shit like that, or he don't know what the fuck going on with him. Niggas fucking him up, and he's innocent as shit. Somebody said some random ass shit, and everybody now thinking this man is guilty and shit because something that happened before cell phones and shit, and lied on his ass. Ain't nobody thinking. It take two to tango and shit. But you thinking it's like this man tangoing is by himself with a goddamn doll and shit. And now you took that to heart, made that his whole fucking life. This man innocent and shit. He ain't understand. You didn't hear him out enough. You just beating his ass. He a slave and shit. So the way you look at slaves is even fucked up. So you whipping his ass and shit, not giving a fuck about his feelings and emotions and shit. And then you don't even know that the Most High fucking you up because you fucking the slave up and shit. So your mind completely like letting you know y'all niggas fucked up about slaves. How you look at people or whatever the case. That's slaves. And then he's just crying his ass off. Like, yo, I'm not really a slave. They just fucked me up. People don't like to think like somebody could have got fucked up and ended up becoming a slave by being fucked up or played. And y'all just hear the word slave and think everybody just a slave is guilty and they deserve to be a slave and shit. You're not thinking that maybe this was a special case or some shit. He didn't deserve to be a slave or something. Fuck him up, beating him up, banking him, stomping him and shit, kicking him and shit. Shut the fuck up. Boom. Boom. Shut the fuck up. Boom. Stomping him, giving him gut, stomach shots. Bow. You know what I'm saying? Uppercutting him and shit, hitting him and shit. Probably cutting him in some more shit. Who knows? You're stomping the shit out of his ass. Now he definitely can't move. You want him to stop crying so bad, you want to knock his ass out so he can stop crying instead of comfort this man. A teenager. This man go to his mother's grave. His mother's voice come out from the grave and comfort him. Fully comfort him. And so he can keep pushing. Otherwise, he was going to die right there, my nigga. So it's fucking me up, yo. It's fucking me up. And once he finally said, I'll take you to my father, I'm not a slave and shit, he didn't want to rat out his brothers afterwards. So finally he's like, and Yusuf said to the men, may I find grace in your sight to take me back to my father's house, and he will give you abundance of riches. So finally he decides to say something. Why? Because we got that stupid ass don't snitch, stop snitching ass shit. These niggas so fucked up. His brother's so fucked up that he sold him into slavery, and he's still not snitching on his brothers because they my brothers and shit. Still not snitching on them. The whole fucking time his only issue is his fucking brothers, his own family, my nigga. But he not snitching and shit. Finally, he like, man, fuck it, man. His mother's voice came up from the grave. Fuck it, I'm saying something. Man, if you take me back, they like, nah, and they answered him saying, are you not a slave? And where's your father? And if you had a father, you would not already twice have been sold for a slave for so little value. And their anger was still, they was mad because these not the Midianites, these the Ishmaelites. They didn't know the rest of the story. So they like, hey, what the fuck? You're like, what you mean? He gonna give us some money and shit? They didn't believe him after that. Like he was sold twice, and then they thinking in their head that he playing and shit, that he really trying to get out of some shit, and he really still a slave, but he trying to play him or something. So they just beat him up some more for saying something to him. Like, so people that look down upon slaves, they think lowly of them. So if I told you, you look at me as slave, you wholeheartedly just look at me like a slave, and this is what I deserve. That's what you think. That's your whole world. Like, fuck them, he a slave, fuck that nigga, stay away from him, don't even talk to him. Stay away from them niggas, they just straight up slaves and shit. Your mind is fucked up about slaves already. You think I'm a slave, fully. I finally come out and say the truth. Look, man, I'm not really a slave, this, that, and the third. You like, what? You mad that I said I'm not a slave for real? That's how fucked up your head be. Oh, slaves love to say shit and shit. Like your head, you trap and box your whole mind up about slaves to the point where you didn't think that some of these slaves could not be slaves. He could have really gave them more money than what he was sold for. He was sold for 20 pieces of silver. It could have been that his father gave them way more. Herbs and spices and all kind of shit. Like, damn, this nigga, he not no slave. He got, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't believe him. See what I'm saying? So slaves, and another thing, when slaves talk, people don't like to listen. Like, our words mean nothing. So for a long time, we've been in America saying shit, talking, saying about black people, saying about slavery, and people all around the world was like, fuck us for real. They just slaves and shit, not listening to us, not hearing us. So everything we saying that's true, they don't hear us and shit. We not really slaves for real. What happened was they just shut off on us. Let you know how the hearts of evil men are. And the Most High Yah saw Joseph's affliction, and Yah again smote these men and chastised them, and the Most High Yah caused darkness to envelope them upon the earth, and the lightning flashed, and the thunder roared, and the earth shook at the voice of the thunder and of the mighty wind, and the men were terrified and knew not where they should go. And the beasts and camels stood still, and they led them, but they would not go. They smote them, and they crouched upon the ground. And the men said to each other, what is this that the Most High Yah, Elohim, has done to us? What are our transgressions, and what are our sins that this thing has thus befallen us? So they're trying to understand. They even beating the camels and shit. The beast and the camel stood still, and they led them, but they would not go. So they start beating and hitting on the camels and shit. Like, why is you trying to punching every fucking thing, man? Nigga, everything ain't fucking beat something up. That's all y'all niggas know. They said Ishmael will be a wild man. Beating up on people and shit all the time ain't the answer. Nigga, understand. Sit down and chill and observe, analyze, and assess. Stop being a fucking brute, my nigga. Reason shit out. Hold on, yo. Listen to these animals here. These beasts could be telling me some shit. Listen to your woman. Maybe I need to listen to her. She could be really, you know what I'm saying? Bombs just dropped in your shit. She careful as shit now. She's, you know what I'm saying, scared as shit. She the most scared person out there. So, of course, she's going to be more careful to understand what's going on in the world so she won't get bombed again. Y'all niggas so fucking headstrong, just want to get a fucking meal and shit. Listen to your fucking woman. Stop thinking because she a woman, she can't say some shit. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, she got a good mind on her. If she making these good-ass, beautiful, creative-ass dishes and shit, damn, that's creative. How you think of that? All right, then if she can think of some creative-ass shit and do some beautiful-ass shit like that, that means she has a good mind on her. Stop belittling her. You can't do what she do and shit. The fuck? So it's be stuff like that, yo. Y'all niggas be crazy. Ishmael, Ishmael. And Ishmael today, some of them Ephraimites and all that type stuff. Some of them in Lebanon and all that shit still too. Everybody isn't a Israelite or from the tribes of Israel. Some of them are just Ishmaelites and shit. So that's why they ended up starting Islam, because they're not Hebrew Israelites. They're Hebrew Ishmaelites. So we are brothers still, but they're just Ishmaelites and we're Israelites. So they started Islam. It was Persian mythology at first. Then they came up and turned that shit into Islam. So now they got their own shit because they don't want to serve the Most High Yah. Why? Because the covenant comes through Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaquab. It doesn't come through Ishmael. So they knew they weren't part of that inheritance. And if they wanted to be part of the Most High, they would have to submit themselves to Israel. So they didn't want to submit themselves to Israel, their brother. You know what I'm saying? It's a disrespect and shit. So they ended up making Islam. So all it is, bitterness and jealousy and envy and shit like that. It don't be really love. It just be envy, my nigga. It don't be like, I want to follow the truth. I'm doing this because I really want to follow the truth, or this is really the truth. They doing shit because they know they just mad and angry and envious. Not because they really want to find the truth or serve the true creator. It's crazy that people out here really just do shit because of envy, not because of love or the truth. So like I said, they beating up on Beast, they beating up on Yusuf, they just beating up on whatever the fuck. They just want to beat shit up instead of talk, my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like when you get fucked up in your heart, you need somebody to talk to and shit like that. When things are happening, you need to analyze and assess and observe your surroundings. Not beat everything up, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Brutes, my nigga. Hate brutes, man. I hate brutish ass men. And these be the men that be wanting slaves and shit. They don't give a fuck if you are a slave or not a slave. They just want to control shit. Or they want to control people and shit like that. People that love slaves are brutish, man. They don't, it's like crazy. So then after the animals still sat on the ground, after they beating the animals up, then they started to observe, what is the creator doing to us and shit, you know? And they thinking, now they realizing that they are in sin. You know, what is our sin and shit that all this befalling us? And one of them answered and said to them, perhaps on account of the sin of afflicting the slave. Finally, after the fucking animals is in tune with nigga, you got to start talking to cats and shit. Now you start analyzing the cats and the dogs and the animals. The animals are reacting different to these people and shit. Man, why my dog acting funny and shit? The dog is like, nah, shorty, go this way and shit. Oh shit. You ain't realizing to listen to the slave or actually observe the slave and hear what they got to say until your dog did some shit. Damn, you listen to a dog before you listen to a person. So finally, and one of them answered and said to them, perhaps on account of on account of the sin of afflicting this slave, has this thing happened this day to us. They knew it was a sin to beat on him like that, because there was nothing he was doing that was wrong. He just crying. And you don't know why he crying. You just beating him up. Hey, man, what's wrong with you? You ain't even ask him, what's going on with you? All right, man? Nothing. It's just stop crying and shit, beating him up. Like single mothers and shit. The baby crying, beat up on the baby and shit. You know what I'm saying? Baby just crying. Hey, niggas on the looking through the camera on the social media. Why she beating on the baby like that? The baby could be hungry or something. It's like that and shit. Brutish ass men. Now, therefore, implore him strongly to forgive us, and then we will know on whose account this evil befalls us. And if Elohim, or the Most High, shall have compassion of us, then we shall know that all this comes to us on account of the sin of afflicting this slave. They did all of this strange shit just to be sure that it was the slave that they was fucking up. That's the reason. All of that just to find out if it was the slave, instead of just talk to that man. They did everything in the world except talk to the slave to find out if it's the reason of the slave that we getting fucked up. Because the way you look at slaves, my nigga, you don't look at them like people. So how you treat your slaves is worse than dogs, worse than animals. And people that think like these people think, Ishmaelites, who the fuck want to be to your country? Who the fuck want to go to your country, my nigga? And you looking at me like a slave. Fuck out of here. You's not going to feed me. You ain't going to care for me, nothing. You ain't gonna care about my story or nothing. Fuck that. I'd rather fight to the death, my nigga, than be a slave to you. Caucasian people, it took them 500 years to realize, to soften up on us and shit. Start listening to us. Understand our situation. We not really slaves. Something happened in history. So you had to really understand. They started educating themselves and started feeling different as time was passing. But it took 500 years. I don't got another 500 fucking years for a Chinese person or a Japanese person or whatever fucking East person or whatever the fuck person in the country or whatever. I don't got 500 more fucking years for them to realize I'm not your fucking slave. I don't got time for that shit. The fuck? Niggas burnt out already. Our souls is fucked up already. Can't move already. Bitterness of soul, like Yusuf. Bitterness already. So we can't move already, my nigga. And you talking about 500 more years? No, fuck that. Verse 47. If they don't listen, I'd rather fight to the death. Verse 47. And the men did so, and they supplicated Yusuf and pressed him to forgive them. And they said, we have sinned to Yah and to you. Now therefore vouchsafe to request of your Elohim that he shall put away this death from among us, for we have sinned to him. And Yusuf did according to their words, and Yahweh hearkened to Yusuf, and Most High Yah put away the plague which he had afflicted upon those men on account of Yusuf. And the beast rose up from the ground, and they conducted them, and they went on, and the raging storm abated, and the earth became tranquilized, and the men proceeded on their journey to go down to Mitzrayim, and the men knew that this evil had befallen them on account of Yusuf. So they know he's not a slave at this point. But at this point, Yusuf is just like listening to his mother. Just go ahead down there and shit. So now he got the comfort of his mother. Just keep pushing. Just go ahead. Don't even go back because they just gonna just try to kill you some more and shit. So he's like now really feeling more confident not to say anything or not to snitch or whatever. Now that they know he's not a slave. After they got fucked up and they know it's because of him, they got fucked up and he's not really a fucking slave. Somebody fucking lied so fucking hard. They lied hard as shit to where they left no room for you to believe that he's not a slave. They lied that fucking hard to you and you feeling crazy as shit. Like if you come across these Hebrew brothers, again, you're going to kill their ass. That's how mad you are that they lied to you like that and put them in trouble. They put evil upon you for selling you a person that's not a slave. And this person is a servant of the Most High. He belongs to the Most High. So the Most High start fucking them up and shit because he don't belong in slavery. He just in slavery because some bullshit happened because his brothers and shit. So now they talking to him, chilling and shit. They looking at him different, treating him like a brother and shit. And you hungry, my man? Like, yeah, man, let my bad. Like, fuck you up, man. Yeah, I ain't going back. Try to kill me and shit. Man, fuck it. Don't even go back. We got you, man. We gonna come in. We gonna do this, that, the drive back. You good, man. You good. Don't say nothing. Yo, when we get in here, don't say nothing. Make sure you get sold to a good family and shit. That ain't gonna fuck you up. I know people out here. So they start really looking out for him and shit. Verse 50. And one answered and said, surely he told us to bring him back to his father. Now therefore come, let's take him back, and we will go to the place that he will tell us, and take from his family the price that we gave for him, and we will then go away. And he asked, and one answered again and said, behold, this counsel is very good, but we cannot do so, for the way is very far from us, and we cannot go out to our road. And one more answered and said to them, this is the counsel to be adopted. We will not swerve from it. Behold, we are this day going to Egypt, and when we shall have come to Mitzrayim, we will sell him there at a high price, and we will be delivered from this evil. So they said, you were just going to sell him for a high price, because if we sell him for a high price, a good person is going to be sold to a good family. You know what I'm saying? So he'll be okay. So he'll be in a good position, a better position than being killed by his brother. So this is what it's telling you, but a bigger conversation was going on. And this thing pleased the men, and they did so, and they continued their journey to Mitzrayim with Yusuf. So I'm pretty sure Yusuf finally was in the conversation. So he's talking to the men, but Yusuf is in a conversation now. So maybe let's turn back and just take you back to your father's house and shit. I mean, we already too far ahead and shit, and this, that, and the third, and then I don't want my brothers to try to kill me again and shit like that on some shiesty shit. So, like, I don't know, these niggas shiesty as shit. When they was some shiesty ass shit to throw me in the pit, my nigga. And this, that, and the third, so I don't know. I mean, they all look cool, they talk cool, they know the Bible and all that shit, but if you give me back to them, they gonna flip on my ass, start trying to hurt my ass and kill my ass. And it's like, damn, they just sound like they just really loved you and shit. Nah, you know what I'm saying? They just jealous and shit, you know? They just know the Bible and stuff, but they be jealous and their character's fucked up. So it's like, nah, just take me to Egypt and shit, and it was too far. Just sell me to somebody that's real high, like sell me for a high price. And all right, we're gonna do it like this. That's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna sell you at a high price so you can be sold in a comfortable ass family. Like, yeah, if I'm gonna be a slave, my nigga, and I don't deserve to be a slave, put me in a fucking family that's rich, my nigga. So like, yeah, you a rich ass family. Yeah. Let's go. Let's keep pushing. Everybody just keep pushing and shit. Hop on the camel, my nigga. Hop on the camel, some water and shit. Get some water, my bad. Some water, my nigga. and just kept pushing. That's terrible. Your brothers kill you, my nigga. That's terrible as shit. You can't even trust your own fucking brothers, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? So the comfort of his mother, and then the Most High came down as well, and then afflicted the men that they realized he's not a slave, but they still pleaded and shit, and kept going forward anyway, and sold them into slavery, but at a high price so they can be comfortable in slavery. So captivity, another word for being in slavery is being in captivity. So in America, a lot of Hebrew brothers, Hebrew Israelites are in captivity. We're in captivity because we're slaves. So the captivity can be light or it can be heavy. Who the fuck want to go to another country to be in some heavy ass captivity, not eating and shit, not on EBT and shit? Nah, fuck that. I don't deserve to be a slave, but if I'm gonna be a slave, nigga, you better give me some EBT, my nigga. I don't give a fuck who jealous, my nigga. I don't deserve to be a slave. These niggas don't know that I don't deserve to be a slave, and I'm not really a slave. They just come to America, and some random ass people say these are slaves and shit. So they look at me like that. They brand new and shit. They ain't pick up a book or nothing. They don't know no history or nothing. So fuck that. I ain't going to your country and shit. Why would I submit to them and shit? They won't give me nothing but a rice ball and shit. Niggas gonna starve the rest of the fucking day off one rice ball and one cup of water. I hear fucking slave, one rice ball, one cup of water, and that's it, nigga. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Don't treat your slaves good and shit. So fuck it. Give me sell me to a high family. Sell me to a rich family. So that was Potiphar. Potiphar's wife wanted him. So then Potiphar was rich, and so Potiphar bought him and things like that. So he ended up in Potiphar's house. Rich man, shit, tended to the whole house, and he did good. He did good. They knew he's not a slave. Slaves are full of bullshit. So he's a good, upstanding man. So put him in a nice, decent family. He gonna do right. He gonna be a good servant and stuff. Because he's not a slave. He got a good character. He got a good head on his shoulders. You know? He don't need this shit. He already rich for real. His brothers just fucked him up, so now he a slave in somebody else's family, some fucking way in Egypt and shit. You know? But he rich for real. So that's what he telling people. I'm from Ethiopia for real. Our family stock is from Ethiopia. We rich for real, but we all here in slavery and shit. Niggas came and grabbed our ass up some time ago. Brought us in America and sold us for slaves and shit. But we really rich for real. Some of our brothers were able to stay behind. They still got the gold and shit like that. They over here trying to sell that bullshit to try to get their people back and shit. Y'all want that shit? You know what I'm saying? Yellow gold, shining ass gold, rich as shit. But like, don't really want it. They want their people back. Because we shouldn't have been sold into slavery. We should have stayed our ass in Egypt and shit. Niggas wanted to come over there on some Gibson College shit. Now my name Gibson and shit. Dwight Raynard Gibson Jr. is on my ID card. Go to Ethiopia like, your name Gibson? Yeah, man, them niggas got my ass and shit. Some years ago and shit, got my ass. Now we slaves over that motherfucker. The fuck? Yeah, go to Gibson College and shit. Niggas like, oh shit, he belong here and shit. So anyway, I just hope that was a good read for you. That definitely was a good read, but it was also good for you to understand what was going on. They softened up later, but in the heat of the moment, they did that shit to him. So, yeah, man. And later on, the rest of the story goes where he ended up having to save his brothers from a famine. You know, so it ended up turning out for his good, or whatever, him being in Egypt and stuff like that. So, and his father found out he wasn't dead. You know, he was still alive, and he was like next to Pharaoh, second in command of Egypt, next to Pharaoh. So he was at a high position. You know what I'm saying? So he was an upstanding man the whole way. The Most High rose him up and shit. He was in prison and all that shit for 10 years. He was going through some shit, my nigga. Went through a lot of shit. Not being a slave for being, I mean, there's reason, like, this was the only person that you ever read of in the scriptures that ended up being a slave that didn't deserve to be a slave. Every other time you see slavery, and with Israel is when they just did some bullshit. They disobeyed the Most High. They was evil as shit, and they ended up in slavery. Like America, it was evil as shit. They ended up in slavery. The first time you hear of it not being, you know what I'm saying, it was a disrespectful situation that happened, was Joseph. His brother sold him into slavery because they were jealous of him, not because he did something wrong or he was sinning or he disobeyed the Most High. And then he had to go through all kind of shit that a slave go through. So there are differences. So as the Most High is trying to give you the story to help you understand, everybody's situation not the same. Everybody's not a slave the same. Some people are slaves in this motherfucker that don't supposed to be here as slaves. Some people are slaves here that deserve to be slaves. And you can tell by how they live their lives. Do they serve the Most High Yah? Are they coming back to the Torah of the Most High? Or are they living perverted ass lives out there? Serving Satan and shit like that. Jesus and shit like that. It shows you by how what lifestyles they're living, and when the truth is presented to them, how they react to the truth, if they deserve to be slaves or not just because they're here and our people are here. So please, I hope that opens your mind up about slavery and slaves. Every case is not the same. There are even special cases about slavery.